Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Well, listen, as you know, one of the great selling books of all times is a little book about a true story of a young boy that had an experience in heaven. It's called Heaven is for Real. Well, that book was turned into a movie, and one of the gentlemen behind producing that is Bishop T.D. Jakes, and we had the opportunity to talk to him about that movie. And we also spent some time together talking about some other things. I think you'll find our time together with Bishop Jakes to be very interesting. And let me encourage you to check out the movie. It is available at Tinseltown, and you may want to go see it. But right now, let's join our conversation with Bishop T.D. Jakes. How you doing? You're looking good.
I'm doing good, Terry. Thank you.
Well, listen, you get your fingers in everything, but this movie is absolutely fascinating. Heaven is for Real. How'd you get involved in this?
Oh, I was really excited to get involved in it. Normally, we're pitched a lot of scripts from a lot of places and agents and people, but this one actually came while I was doing my day job. I was speaking for Ed Young here in Dallas, and he was having a pastor's conference, and Todd Burpo, of who the movie is about, is a pastor, and he attended the conference and walked up to me and told me, "I'm very interested in you being a producer. I'm thinking about taking my son's story to film." And I said, "What story?" And he said, "Heaven is for Real." He said, "Haven't you read it?" 8 million people had read it, and I hadn't read it, so I downloaded it and read it, and it was absolutely fascinating.
Well, it's a true story. By the way, the movie's due to be released on the 16th. Is that correct, Bishop? That's
right.
All right. And it's about a young boy that went to heaven. I don't know how much of that you want to give away, but tell us a little bit about it.
This family has a parent's worst nightmare. Their child gets sick unto death, and they're driving through traffic trying to get him to the hospital, and then he gets on the table and has a near-death experience. Thankfully, he survived because this is a real story. But the odd thing was when he came out of the surgery, he came out talking about heaven and talking about people he met and things he saw. And some of the people that he mentioned were people that he didn't even know, that like his grandfather or his mother had a child before him that she lost, that they didn't discuss with the children, and he knew about it. And so this story has built from there. And the odd thing that's funny to me about it, Perry, is that his father, who is the pastor, was the biggest skeptic. He had a hard time really believing his son's story.
Wow. Well, it is an incredible film, and I want folks to know Heaven is for Real. It'll be in the theaters coming up April 16th. You got to go see this. Bishop, what did that little boy's story mean to you as a pastor?
As a pastor, it's amazing. I wrestled with the whole story as a pastor. One, I definitely believe in heaven. There's no problem there. The thing that was odd about it is that this boy didn't really die. So that was really weird to me. But then I thought about Elijah went up in a chariot of fire, and he didn't die either. So I can't explain it from a theological perspective, but I sure am glad that we're talking about faith on a Friday night in a theater that would normally be talking about guns and violence and rape and killing.
Yeah. Boy, that is for sure. There seems to be a real interest in faith-based movies today. I mean, look what's happening out there. How are you responding to that?
It is an interest, and kudos and shouts out to all the people that are supporting faith-based films, because it gives us an opportunity to do more and to prove to Hollywood that there is an audience out there for this kind of film, and that it's possible to be able to touch people without nudity or gratuitous violence or unnecessary things that are negative. And so the more that we do that, the more effective we become, the more films we're going to see like this.
Do you think there's a hunger to know about heaven?
Oh, absolutely. I think whether you're Christian, Jewish, agnostic, or whatever you say that you are, there's no one who ever loved a loved one and lost them that they don't hope, wish, dream to see them again. And I'm glad we're talking about eternal life in any dimension or capacity, because when we begin to think about that, it determines how we live our lives right now.
What would you want to see happen with this film?
I would like to see this film be strong enough and powerful enough that it touched people's lives, that they begin to think about their lives and their faith and their families, that they regard life with more preciousness, and that they take spirituality more deeply, because I think that's really the catalyst to all that really matters.
You know, Bishop, I want to commend you, because you and others now are beginning to see it's time for Christians to get back involved in the arts and take it back, movie making being one of them. And to me, it's a refreshing move, don't you think?
Oh, I'm so excited about it. And I couldn't get there by myself without the help of all the people who really support these films and get behind these films. I wouldn't be able to do it. And that's why I'm excited for the opportunity. This is our chance up to bat. And Hollywood is really starting to get the message. They're not interested in faith, let's be real. They're interested in money. But they have given us a tool whereby we can reach the world in a much more effective way than we have in the past.
You know, it's been said media is the mission field to America, whether it's through the movies, radio, and television. You're on all of it. It is the tool that God's dropped in our hand to reach people today.
It's so critical. You know, I think every Sunday morning, and I'm blessed with a wonderful church, and I love that church, and it loves me. But when I look at how many people are streaming our service every Sunday morning, who watch it on television, who watch it on YouTube, you're talking millions of people compared to a handful of people. And so this is a great opportunity. And often without spending a lot of money, you can reach the world in new and exciting ways. I just can't get over it. It's amazing.
I'm afraid to ask you the right question, you'll start preaching. No. Let me go to that point. There is a hunger in our culture, as you well know, Bishop, and they're asking two questions. What is truth, and who can I trust? Right. Given those two questions, it seems to me it's the church's hour to rise up.
It is. It really is the church's hour to rise up and to offer truth, and to do it in a way that we can reach the broadest amount of people.
Your message is very encouraging to a lot of people. You help a lot of people to get up and get going. Are you surprised how many Christians these days seem to be down?
Oh my gosh, it's staggering. It's absolutely staggering.
What's that telling you?
I mean, the problems are complicated. The pain is intense. The families are shattering. All across the board. And I worry not only because the Christians are having problems, but a lot of times the pastors give oversimplistic answers. Just pray about it. Oh, as long as you're a Christian, it doesn't matter. Well, you can be saved in your spirit and be tormented in your mind. You can be a Christian and be emotionally dwarfed. There are areas that I think we really need to touch on in the area of discipleship that are broader than just soul winning, that deal with how I live my life while I wait on Christ's return.
I'm going to take a break. When I come back, it appears that the church in some ways, even in the culture of America, is under attack. And yet, we want to push back, but we want to love. How do you push back and love at the same time? And that's a loaded question. You could probably preach for a week on it, but you get your guns loaded and I'll be right back. Bishop T.D. Jakes is with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paulina and I work at theDove TV. Did you know that when you support theDove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, thedove.us.
Okay, we're back, and our special guest today, what an honor to have with us, Bishop T.D. Jakes, speaker, pastor, author, movie producer, and yet at the bottom of his heart, he is a soul winner, and love this guy and his message. Bishop, as we were going into the break, as you know, just by the way you preach, you understand that it seems that Christians and Christianity is under attack. There's a tremendous pushback. How do we resist that and yet at the same time be seen as people who really love the fallen and not seen as people that are intolerant of people that don't believe like us.
You know, one of the tragedies that has created this conundrum is that we have forsaken the very mediums that you and I were just talking about. As long as we don't have Christian journalists in abundance, as long as we don't have news reporters that reflect our faith, then we don't have control of how we are represented. So that's part of the problem. The whole church could use a PR firm.
Are you called to do another ministry?
Exactly. You know, our image has been shattered because we've allowed other people to tell our stories. So that's part of the problem. And then sometimes the people who are quickest to grab the mic and speak for us do not speak with the heart of Christ. Though they may be right on the issues, they often are presented in an angry and dogmatic way, and we suffer. The church suffers by and large because our spokespersons are not always the best reflection of what we're trying to say. Yeah. I do think that, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you loud and clear, yeah. In fact, I have a little motto in our radio studio that says, lead with compassion, follow with clarity.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's something that I think we really need to train ministers and spokespersons going forward, that when you are in another arena, the language, the colloquialisms in which you use have to be altered a bit. Paul said that he became all things to all people, that some might be saved. And I think that sometimes when we take our pulpit jargon into the secular media, we do it at the expense of clarity and often lose the debate because we don't have the diplomacy to debate on a contemporary stage. We're used to talking to people who say amen. We're not used to crafting the conversation in such a way that we can reach a broader audience, and I think that's something we really need to work on.
Boy, that is very well said. You know, your messages are, you're a very anointed preacher. How do you prepare for your messages?
You know, most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, my messages are outflow of my own devotion. I don't go to the Word to feed the people. I go to the Word to feed me. And then those things that nourish me and help me become the fuel that I use to share with the church. You know, when Jesus got ready to feed the 5,000, he gave the bread to the disciples. And I think sometimes we are not really consuming or benefiting from the bread that we pass because we don't really touch it ourselves. But I try to touch the Word myself, and those things that bring medicine and bring healing and bring clarity to me, then I'm very comfortable with sharing with them. And so I go in for devotions. I try to understand the context of the text. Often when it's a Bible story, I try to look at the story through all of the eyes, whether it is the woman at the well, what did that look like to her? What did it look like from Jesus' perspective? What did it look like when the disciples approached? There are many narratives going on in the same story. And when I study the Word, I try to let all of them have their view.
Very well said. Who has influenced you in the past?
Oh, wow. You know, whenever I'm asked that question, it's kind of embarrassing because everybody who really touched my life is not famous at all. My mother, my father, my Sunday school teacher when I was a little boy, Miss Inez Strickland, just Miss Nellie White, people you would never know. You would never know these people because I lived in Charleston. So big name, Charleston, West Virginia, big name preachers never came through our town, hardly ever. And I think Billy Graham came through there a few times and R.W. Shambach came through there. And I mean, it shut down the whole town. Yeah. So I think the best heroes today, we tend to make celebrities heroes and mentors, but I think the best heroes you can have are people that you can call on the phone and that you can see every day and who live their lives in normal ways and teach you how to survive.
Boy, that's beautiful. So, Bishop, where do you think the church is going today?
Woo, that's interesting.
Preach it.
That question caught me off guard.
That's all right. No, share it through your eyes now.
Yeah, from my view, I think that the church has a real issue that we must confront with reaching the next generation. I think that our parents did a much better job of infusing faith into us than our generation has done with our children. We've raised a group of children who are not as Christ-centered, who do not respect the word. We respected the word, my generation, even when we didn't obey it, we still respected it.
Right.
But we have a generation today that feels comfortable with challenging the authenticity of faith in general. And I think it is in part because we were so busy making a living that we didn't make a life, and we have not effectively influenced our children, and that scares me.
Have we lost the fear of God?
I think to a large degree, many people have, and I think that's because they have lost the awareness of God, that they have relegated God off to something that those Christian people talk about, or those church people talk about, never recognizing that God is available to all of us.
Wow. What about reverence for God? Have we made God a buddy and a cool dude instead of Lord?
Yeah, I think that we have done that with all authorities, God included. Your first view from a very carnal perspective of authority is in your own family. And because the family has become the wild, wild west, where everybody does whatever they want to do, and there is no structure and there is no order, then when we go to school, we defy authority. Then when we try to work a job, we defy authority. And then when we go to church, we say, who is God? I don't feel like that. Because your first encounter with authority is on a very natural level. Babies aren't born worshiping God and taking communion, but they are born with discipline and family and regimentation. And if you lose that class, it becomes difficult in all the subsequent classes to understand that authority is not there to abuse you, it is there to protect you.
Wow, that is so well said. Do you weep for America?
Yeah, I'm concerned about our country, and beyond our country, I'm concerned about the world. In a global society where you and I can share a moment like this and people can watch it in Afghanistan, I think we have to have a global view of the world at large, because if we only pray, God bless America, and not God bless the world, then those that are not blessed will come over and bomb us. I think we need a global understanding of faith, and it certainly includes our country, but because we are so interdependent economically, socially, technology, on other parts of the world, I think we need a global prayer.
Boy, that's beautiful. Where do you think we are in the scope of prophecy?
Well, first of all, let me do a disclaimer. I'm not a prophecy expert. I certainly am not. But in my limited view and understanding of prophetic texts, I really don't see much more that would have to happen for Christ to return. I really don't. The things that we scoffed at when we were children, how could that be? How could you go to the grocery store and not spend money, or a mark? They could just take a mark and you spend money. All of those things that seemed ridiculous when I was 5 are quite plausible now. You could buy product with a mark. So many things that the Bible, mothers against daughters, fathers against sons, the destruction of the family. We're living it right now. Men becoming lovers of their own selves, gluttony, greed, excess. It's everything that the Bible said, to a large degree, is happening right in front of us. Wow.
If you were given the world microphone, what would be your message today?
Love. Love. I think that the absence of love creates the avenues for hate. I think we've lost the ability to love and respect each other. We do not have to agree to survive. you can have your perspective and I have mine, and we can still breathe the same air. The death of civility, we've lost the ability to disagree and still get along. And that really worries me on all fronts. Everybody is so angry about everything that we can't. It's like two fire departments rushing to a burning house and fighting over whose jurisdiction it is. And the house goes up in smoke. And I see that in Congress. I see that in churches. I see that in families. We're so busy fighting individuals that we don't confront the issues that are dangerous to us all. And if I had the mic in a global sense, I think to preach love is to preach God. And I think that would be the universal message that would give us the clarity that we need to be able to survive the turbulence of the times we live in. And I speak passionately about that because I'm really worried. I have a grandchild, and I don't know that my grandchild will come up in a world like I knew it. And it's very disturbing for me.
Boy, that is very telling. One other question, Bishop, and it's a little touchy, but I want your response on it. We as the church, the American church, Christians around the world actually, we haven't come up with the antidote for the homosexual. We haven't figured out a way to minister to them effectively. And yet Jesus died for them too. What would you say?
First of all, I'm amazed at the question. The precision of the question puts the onus of responsibility on the church and off of the homosexual, which I hardly ever hear. But I think you're absolutely right that somewhere along the way we have not been effective with the solutions that we've offered and the messages that we have conveyed. And I think we need a Jerusalem council to sit around the table and really discuss how to really effectively help people to change their lives and move forward in their lives, and to better understand how we bring our theology into the context of the of the human experience, and do it without alienating the very people that we're trying to reach, because we're supposed to reach everybody and love everybody and minister to everybody. And I don't think we've done a great job with that. And I'm so proud of your question, because generally the question is always putting the burden on the unbeliever or on the sinner or on this one or on that one, when the job is ours to find a way to present the gospel in a way that we don't lose people that Christ died for and loves.
Well, thank you for saying that. I'm just a little upset with the fact that, well, we love the sinner, but we hate the sin. Baloney. We haven't come up with an antidote for this problem.
God bless you. You just went way up the thermometer in my mind with respect. You're the first person I've ever heard say that. And now I want to interview you because I so agree with what you said.
Well, Bishop, you're a delight and an inspiration. Thank you for your time. We highly value it, and I know you live on a pretty tight schedule. And thank you for this movie. I pray and believe that it will touch a lot of people. Out of the innocence of this young boy, many could come to Christ.
Thank you. I'm so excited about it. I want everybody to come out opening weekend, celebrate Easter in the theater as well as in the church, and pray that somebody would come into a loving knowledge of Jesus Christ.
Hey, come to Oregon. We'll take you salmon fishing.
I look forward to it. I'd love it.
Okay. God bless you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Well, what a powerful guy and just a real friend, Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he is the co-producer behind the movie Heaven is for Real. Now, over the weekend, it ended up being number 3 at the box office. This is a true story about a young boy and who went to heaven and the experience there and what it meant to his family. Now, that movie is available at Tinseltown, so you may want to check it out this week and go see it. Heaven is for Real. Well, coming up next, we're actually going to Skype Steve Johnson in from theDove's new home, and we're going to give you an update on that coming up next here on Focus Today.
Hi, I'm Daniel and I work at theDove TV. You know, compared to Portland, Seattle, and LA, Medford might be considered a small market, but at theDove, we're excited about the opportunity to make a big impact right here in our community. And you help make that happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us now by making a secure online donation at our website, theDove.us, or by phoning 541-776-5368.
Well, welcome back. We are excited here at the Dove. As you know, we've been talking about for quite a while now that the Dove, after 30 years of renting, is finally getting an opportunity to own its own facility. And it's been quite the project to get everything worked out and all the details worked out. And this week will be a significant week in many, many ways as we finalize some work behind the scenes to get ready to make the transition. Starting tomorrow here on the Dove, both radio and television, we'll be having our annual 3-day share-a-thon, spring share-a-thon. And this is where we prayerfully ask you to consider joining the team here at the Dove, because over 80% of all of our income here at the Dove is from viewers and supporters. We do receive some sharing of revenue back from some of the programs that we air. On the television side, yes, we are able to run some advertisements there, but we can't on the radio side because that's a non-commercial frequency. But the Dove is a nonprofit organization. We're a 501c3 corporation, registered both in the state of Oregon and with the IRS as a nonprofit organization. We have been for years. So over 80% of what happens here happens by you, the viewer, and the listener being involved with what we do. And I want to say the growth of the ministry is a response of your love for this ministry and your involvement in this ministry. And I just want to say thank you. It's been a remarkable time to see the Dove grow from a 1,000-watt daytime-only radio station to where now we have 4 full-power radio stations, 6 translators, and a television station, and multiple media platforms, digital platforms. The Dove is being seen and heard literally around the world and in just about every state in the country because of Roku and because of the web. So moving into a facility is a big deal. We literally have outgrown this. In fact, we're so jammed in here we can barely function because the Dove has grown to that point. So moving to the building, yes, it's a major blessing. It is a dream come true in many, many ways, and something we've been praying about for many years to have happen. But it's not the end all. The building is a tool to do what God called us to do. We believe the next stage for the Dove is in what they call content production and content development, developing more programs for radio and television. There are other networks that would like to have some of our programming air on their network. So we're working behind the scenes when working with other ministries to do that. And a big part of what we want to do, we really feel led of the Lord, is to get the next generation involved in what we do. An internship program where we're teaching high school and college students live broadcasting so they can go in their churches and become a part of what God called them to do there, maybe be their media director in their churches, or literally get into this industry, become Christian broadcast journalists. And so by exposing them to what we do, hopefully they would maybe feel a calling to go into that area. So the building is nothing more than a tool to make that happen. Well, over the last several weeks, we've been asking you to prayerfully help us buy some equipment that we needed, that we want to get in place long before we ever make the transition. And this equipment will be a lifetime investment, and it'll help us in having a lot of things set up in advance of moving from one place to the other. Our goal is to do this without losing any airtime. Now, for all of those of you who are a little techie or engineer types, you'll understand moving an operation like this is pretty technical. Well, it's also going to be a big job. So a lot of that equipment over the last several weeks has been purchased. Most of it has been delivered and is sitting around here in various places in the corner and elsewhere. And over the next week or so, we'll start installing that equipment so that we can make the transition into the new building. So we're pretty excited about that. But tomorrow and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll be asking you to help us with the difference of what has come in and what is still needed in order to make this move. And so it's pretty exciting. And we're just asking you to pray about it. Please don't take from your church or any other ministry that the Lord has you involved in. And I mean that sincerely. Your finances go there first. But if the Lord's calling you to be a part of this ministry and to help us with what we're doing and be a part of it, and we actually consider you a partner, a team member in what goes on here, then pray about it and then only do what the Lord's leading you to do. The amount, that's between you and the Lord. You can go to the Dove website. Right at the top of the page, you'll see a little button that says Help Move the Dove. You can click on that. You can support us there. You can call us anytime. But for the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll be asking you to call and get involved. Well, I'll tell you what we want to do now. We want to go to the building, and on the outside of the building right now is our own Steve Johnson. He's standing outside what is going to be the Dove's new home. Hi, Steve.
Yes, hello, and I can give you a weather report. It is mostly cloudy, and we're feeling some raindrops already.
Really?
Yes. So your forecast, you were right on this morning during the morning show. And I want to tell you that we have some empty parking spaces here because we haven't moved in. But I can tell you these parking spaces are going to be filled up once that happens. Behind me is the building that we will be occupying. It's kind of our own Occupy movement a couple of years after the national one, you know, Occupy the airport.
Yeah, right.
But for a very good reason. In fact, the best reasons possible because of all the things that you were saying. So we're kind of excited to have these parking spaces filled. Maybe a year from now, we'll have some of the people who will be answering phones for our next Share-a-thon. But I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I?
No, you're doing fine. And for folks watching on the Dove TV or listening on the radio, Steve is in the parking lot at the new building. Behind him is the new building, which is a big square box, basically, and but it is beautiful, and it is so well equipped for what we're going to do. And so I don't want to keep you out there too long, but in a few moments you'll go inside and give us a little tour.
Yeah, I'll give you an idea. I want to see what's happening there too. It's probably still more empty space, but it's what it is it's a building of dreams. Because with an empty space, you can come up with all sorts of ideas, and we'll try to show you where some of the things are as we are envisioning them.
All right. For those who don't know, it's 2070 Milligan Way, and it's out at the Jackson County Airport, which has been an interesting challenge to get through all of the hoops that we have to jump through to make all that happen. But it's a beautiful building, and it's just got everything we need plus in it. And we'll show you in the inside coming up in just a few moments. Okay, Steve?
You bet. I'll join you inside.
Okay, he'll go inside. All right, and that's where it's located. And I just want to say to Bern Case, who's the airport director, he's been helping us very hard. Danny Jordan, who is the county administrator, and our county commissioners, not to mention a lot of other folks who have been helping us get through all the hoops to make all this happen. It's been interesting, to say the least. I think I could take the bar exam and pass it. I've been reading so many documents lately. But it's just wonderful. It is a 8,000 square foot building. It used to have corporate aircraft in it. Now, what makes this so significant is it has everything we want in it. High ceilings, concrete floors, and it has enough power in this thing. It's just huge with power. In other words, electrical power, so that we can not popping circuit breakers like we do around here all the time. And so it has some offices already in it, and we'll be able to transition those offices very, very quickly. And our goal is this. It's a little bit different than what we thought at the beginning because of a lot of things that have occurred since then. But we will be moving in somewhat makeshift. We'll be moving in and then doing the remodel around ourselves. You say, why in the world are you doing that? Well, there's a big reason. To do a remodel is a whole lot cheaper than doing a full-blown construction project, just in permits alone. And we had to learn that one the hard way. So we'll be doing that, but it allows us to do it. There's enough room there where we can do it. We've had several companies already offer us some incredible office cubicles to make it happen. They're virtually new. In fact, when Steve gets in the inside, you'll see them on pallets in there. We had another company donate us some equipment racks, brand new equipment racks. They're just beautiful. And hopefully we can get a picture, though. That will be where the server room will be, which will house all of the servers that will make all this place operate. So there's been some wonderful things going on behind the scenes. In the meantime, you've helped us get a microwave tower, a microwave antenna. You've helped us get a lot of the Cat 6 cabling that we have to install. Some of the other equipment, I can't remember all the items. And we're down to just a few items left that is needed to help make the transition. And there are two fairly significant items. One is the lighting grid over the top of the television studio. And I think there's only 8 or 9 pieces of those left. They are $100 a piece. And I think there was like, I forget, 66 pieces, if I remember right, to build the lighting grid to help put that in place before we move the television studio. Then the other item, which is fairly significant and a little spendy, however, it's just one of those things we have to do, and that is upgrade the TV operation to HD, which is high definition. And our goal is, if we can buy this item that will upgrade the television station to HD, we can put that in place before we unplug over here and then plug that in over there, and we'll be able to make the transition. And I think for the most part we won't lose any airtime. So let me take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll go back to the building, and Steve's there. Well, he's waving his hands. He's on the inside now. And he'll give us a little tour here coming up in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Paula, and I work at theDove TV. Every day we get letters and emails from people who've been encouraged, blessed, and challenged by the programs on theDove TV. But we couldn't do it without you. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to bring inspiration and hope to our community by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us, or call us at 541-776-5368.
Okay, we're back, and we're giving you an update because starting tomorrow is going to be our annual Spring Share-a-thon here at the Dove, and this is where we're going to ask you to help us make up the difference of what has already come in the way of making the move for the Dove and what is still needed. And what we've done, because of the technology that's available to us today, we have Steve Johnson. He's inside the new building now, and he's out there and giving us a little bit of a feel for
where
what's
it's not raining.
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. And you know what? I'm now in the building, and I haven't seen this yet. So this is new to me, as well as anyone else who might be watching this or viewing, coming on into the station.
Yeah.
Our new station, because that's kind of where I'm at. These are some of the pallets, I guess you'd say. From what I can tell, these are our cubicles that we'll be having, right?
Right.
Gilbert will be very happy with all of this.
Well,
and so already some of the stuff is coming in that we can then build the actual location that you have been mentioning that we wanted to have in place to make that smooth transition. That's really the key.
Yeah. Well, where you are, we got a little bit of delay here, Steve, but we're working on it here. You're right. Behind you are pallets of fairly almost brand new cubicles that were given to us as a gift. And we have another gentleman who's a professional in putting these together. So hopefully starting next week, we'll start putting those together as part of the transition. Now, you're actually standing about where one of the production studios, television production studios, are going to be.
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, Bruce is here with me right now. And I think you've been out here on occasion. Have you seen this stuff? Is this the first time you've seen it too?
This is the first time I've seen it. And gosh, stuff in the new place.
It has been mostly just an empty area, so that's kind of cool to see all that stuff. So yeah, this is you know, as I envision it, behind me is where the kitchen area will be, and I can see that for if we want to do a cooking show or something like that. That'd be a great place for that, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
And you'll be our taste tester, won't you?
I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
Now there's other racks that I'm not showing you right now. Maybe in the next break we can do that. That you have mentioned that people have already supported the Dove with,
right.
And we've been able to purchase. They're still in their shrink wrap right now, getting ready for all the components and everything that our engineering team will be dealing with and all of that. So it's starting to happen, Perry.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to talk a little bit. Why don't you walk over? You'll see a tower sitting on the floor over there.
I'll look for a tower.
There's a tower sitting on the floor. We can show them that, and then go to the IT room. We'll show them the racks in there.
All right.
All right.
Give me a couple of minutes.
They'll transition around in there. They do have a little makeshift Skype camera, so we'll go back to them here in just a second. But that's what's happening. We are really in the middle of this thing right now, and it's pretty amazing. It is just simply amazing. It's a big, big deal for us to figure out how we're going to do it. Our engineers, we got two of them, and they're already pulling their hat. We got a lot of folks who have volunteered to help, and we're trying to coordinate that. But what's happening is that we're trying to figure out a way to make the transition into the new building without losing any airtime. And then once we're there, we'll be doing some remodeling around ourselves. And the reason we're going to do it that way, and some people say you shouldn't do it that way, but the reason we're doing it that way is that we save a lot of money just in permits by going for a remodel instead of a full-blown construction thing. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go back to Steve. Are you out there, Steve? Here, we're coming to you.
That's right. I think we found the towers.
Yeah.
We've located them.
Right.
And Bruce is now our model for all of that. This is just like The Price is Right. Behind door number 3.
Yeah, there you go. Well, what he's holding up
And
there are sections of a microwave tower that you folks helped us not only get, but have it powder coated. And they're sitting there on the floor ready to be installed. That's going to hold the microwave antenna that will connect the radio station from the building to the broadcast tower. So pretty nice, isn't it?
And, you know, and when you said it was powder coated, I'm thinking of Harley Davidson frames that they powder coated that I've seen before. These look just as nice, I have to tell you.
Yeah, yeah, it's gorgeous. And you almost hate to put it outside and put something on it.
But that powder coating will prevent the rain from messing with it and all that.
By the way, directly behind you, Steve, is where the new television studio is going to be.
Yes, right. In fact, let me move over here. It's right in this general area right over here, which is still an open space, as you were saying.
Yeah, 26-foot ceilings in there, which is perfect for a television studio. There you go.
Yep.
All right, now go to the little room, and I'll wait for you a couple seconds, and you can go back over a little.
You want me to go to the little room?
No, no, no.
I can wait.
No, go to the IT room.
Oh, that little room.
No, yeah, go to the IT room.
All right, we'll do that.
All right. Anyway, folks, what we're going to do starting tomorrow is give you a full account of where we are, what has come in, and what is still needed. And over the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, ask you to pray about helping us financially to do this. Let me just give you a quick accounting, and I pulled this report before I came in the studio. About 81% of our income is all from viewers and listeners just like you. We do have some income from programs that you hear and watch on the Dove. They do share with us some revenue that they get, and that does make up about 8 or 9%. And then we do have some ads on the television side. We're able to sell commercials there, but we can't on the radio side because that's a non-commercial. And we are able to have business sponsors there, but a business sponsor is different than a commercial. Anyway, that's all that legal stuff, and I don't need to bore you with all that. But over 80% of what happens here is clearly dependent upon you being involved in this ministry one way or the other. So we're going to ask you to pray about, if you're already a monthly supporter, let me tell you this, thank you so very much. It's the monthly support that makes this place happen. And some of you do it sacrificially, and I know that. And we don't take that for granted. We pray for you during our staff meetings. We consider you literally part of the team of what goes on here. And I can't wait till this is all done and have an open house and a dedication, have you folks come see what you have helped the Dove do. So be praying about what you may be able to do over the next 3 days, and then be able to call us Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or you can go online. All right, I think we're going to try to connect with Steve back up. Now, somebody has, and a lot of these folks want to remain anonymous, and I respect that. I get that. A lot of folks just don't want their name or their company mentioned, and we understand that. And I want to say thank you. You know who you are. The sellers, you know who you are. And the people that have gone the extra mile that make this happen. And I have to tell you, some of the legal hoops that we've had to jump through to get to where we are has been quite significant. And I've spent a lot of time over the last several months going through just tons of details of paperwork just to make sure everything's right. And our attorney, Jim Grantland's been very gracious in helping me with that in a pro bono way. And it's just been wonderful, but it's been quite a lot of stuff to go through, and we will finish that up this week, and then actually start the next week. We will actually start installing some of this equipment so we can prepare for the move. All right, Steve is not in the little room as he thought that I would send him to, that it says men on it or something like that. No, he is in the IT room, and tell us, Steve. All right, I don't have any audio on you yet. Do we have them?
Well, actually, I'm right outside.
There you are. Okay.
Oh, okay. Hi there.
Yeah, we got you.
You should have it. You got me now?
Got you now.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm outside of the little room, okay? It's right in back of me here. And you see these racks. This is where all this high-tech stuff goes that I don't know anything about, but, you know, we rely on it to work. And so our engineer will be working to put that stuff in it. So right now you'll notice that it's kind of blank, it's empty. It just looks like if you had the world's greatest stereo system and you had all this rack of great equipment in it. Well, we've got the rack, we're going to put that equipment in it coming up. So I'm still kind of in that large room area looking into the IT room. And you can see, I mean, we're making progress. This wasn't here last time I was here, so it's great to see that. Yeah,
those racks are just top quality commercial IT racks for the servers and the computers and things that make all of what we do here work. And the organization that donated those, I want to say again, thank you. You choose to remain anonymous, but that's great. And I just want to say thank you. They are just top quality. I mean, that's a dream come true to have those racks sitting in there and have them already in place. And so anyway, I don't know where you're going to go next, Steve, but you're outside that door. If you can pivot around a little bit, you can show back the other way where the television studio is. Okay, we got a little bad signal.
I think so. In fact, you know what? I'm going to attempt it right now.
All right.
Okay. Is it better?
Yeah. You're fuzzy.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you, barely. Yeah, there you go. Not quite. All right, we'll let them adjust that in just a second.
I am.
Oh, there you are.
Well, I'll tell you what. Behind me is where the studio will be. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I back now?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay.
Go. Yeah.
Behind me, right here, is where the studio will be. Yeah, the studio is right behind me. This is this empty area right next to the dolly is where the studio will be. So it's a big open area, and we have stuff to put in there and all sorts of things. So.
Okay, we're having a little bit of a signal problem. Let me just explain. Right behind Steve is where the television studio is going to go. And what we need to put in there before we move the television operation over there is the lighting grid, which will hold all the lights that are in the studio. But folks, thank you so much for being involved. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, starting tomorrow, we're going to ask you to just pray about what the Lord would have you to do. If you want to be a monthly team member, that is wonderful. If it's an extra one-time gift to help us with all of this, that's wonderful. We don't take any of this for granted. It's a huge step. It's a step of faith, unlike anything we've ever done before. I thought putting the television station on the air was a step of faith. This one is even twice that size. And it's a big project for us to get transitioned over there, but we can't do it any other way without your help. So be praying about what the Lord would have you to do. And I want to say it one more time because I mean it sincerely. Make sure it's the Lord leading you to support the Dove. And two, it's a joy for you to support the Dove. Don't take from your church or any other ministry that you're involved in, because that is vitally important that you do that. But and you stay faithful there. But if the Lord's leading you to get involved in this ministry, the amount, that's between you and the Lord. All right, I think we got 2 minutes left. I think we got these guys trying to do another outside shot. There you are.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, we made it outside, and I can tell you it's not raining.
Okay.
Just in case you're wondering. But again, we're a little bit closer. Bruce is with me here. This is the front facade. It's blue. It's going to be one of those kind of welcoming things that when we have events that you might be invited to, we'd love to have you out here. Right now, my car is the only car in the parking lot, but hopefully in a few weeks or maybe a month or so, that'll all be changing. So it's a great time, as you mentioned, Perry, to be praying about how you want to be a part of this ministry as we actually make the move. I mean, we're seeing stuff happening every day, coming in and being put into place, getting ready to go on the air. And isn't that the goal of it all?
That's what it's all about. Well, thanks, you guys, for hustling around out there today.
Sure.
As the guy that watches the bottom line, make sure you turn off all the lights and lock all the doors.
We'll do that. I'm still hunting for the coffee machine, though. We don't have that in there yet.
Well, we'll have to find one for you. We do need a new espresso machine just for you, Steve. Okay.
I like the way you're thinking.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, Steve. All right, and thank you, folks, for what the Lord would have you to do. Be sure to pray for us over the next 3 days. If you want to get involved early, you can call us now. You can go online now at thedove.us, or you can come on by. And believe me, we are really excited and working hard to make all this work as smoothly as we can without losing any airtime. And I can't wait. I just really can't wait till we can open up the doors and say, come take a look. And we're going to work hard to get that done as soon as we can. Thanks, Steve.
Hey, you bet.
All right, there you go. There's Steve out there. All right, we'll see you next time on Focus Today.
Hi, I'm Jim and I work at theDove TV. Every weekday between 6 and 8 a.m., our award-winning news and sports team bring you the best morning show around. It's live, it's honest, and it's a whole lot of fun. And you help make it happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to air local programs that share your voice by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us.